What I love about this is like creative machines are almost part of like a cultural shadow work. I always look at people that go, "Where did that come up with?" I'm like, it was from, have you ever read X, Twitter? Okay. It's somebody's opinion. It's human data. That's synthetic data so far is not working that great. And I'm sure they'll solve that too. But our like expressions, and mostly from social media, are pretty freaky if you look at them and look in the mirror. And that it's sort of like what you're seeing with the relationship, not just the machine, but the intelligence, because there will be, in my opinion, all these like different intelligences, which are, there's going to be some artists who will strictly work through AI and create AI pieces. Like I interviewed Dr. Stephen Toller, and he did this. He began his AI in 1990 based on, inspired by consciousness and a near death experience he had as a 2 year old. I was like, whoa. And what he did was he created an adversarial method that, and he brought in that death experience to his AI, and it created a painting. And he's been trying to get a copyright for it to say, hey, this is a different form of intelligence, but it thought it up. I didn't. I didn't say create a painting. It had an experience or a friend's death, something that was really trauma. And this is what it created, which is so like human beings. How do you sort of see less like finding a place for machines? I know this is sort of way out there, but how do we find that place where it's not just a machine, but that machine came from us?
I love that teasing apart of how human is it and how non-human is it. There are many, many different analogies we make it. The one that I choose in the book that I spent a lot of time on is a collective consciousness for a specific culture, right? So if we look at a lot of the models we have today, they're a collective consciousness to Western data, to a Western consciousness. A lot of their tending towards the mean has to do with the kind of data that we've replicated many, many times online. We copy each other, and then it kind of amplifies the aspects of our culture that has been echoed the most, twisted by the companies to sort of align them in a specific direction, and nevertheless still retaining a certain Western collective consciousness. And then I love that you said the word shadow. Oh, it's one of the most interesting aspects. We know that there is terrible stuff going on. We know there is racism and sexism. And we like to think that it's out there somewhere else, far away from us, right? We also like to think that, there is sexism and racism, but not inside this brain, not us, some horrible people somewhere else. And yet there is so much research showing that every single one of us has implicit biases. Every single one of us. The collective consciousness lives through and within every single one of us, manifesting differently, but non-trivially, right? And the AI screams its biases in us shamelessly. I mean, one research project, we gave it a picture of a person along with a profession. So let's say a woman along with the word professor, or a man along with the word model. And the machine would take the woman who is now a professor or CEO and give her a beard. Just, okay, here's your woman professor. There you go. She has a bit of a different jawline and a beard and still kind of looks like a woman a little bit, kind of beautifully exploring this gender spectrum in a way that a human artist usually wouldn't. Or the guy suddenly has makeup and lashes now that he's a model, right? So it's very, very honest, right? It's telling us, oh, it's too feminine for a guy to be a model. Oh, if a woman is a professor, there must be something masculine about her. And it's so shameless about revealing these societal biases in a way that a human would never verbalize. It's like, I know that a guy is allowed to be a model and stay a guy, and a woman can be a professor without becoming a man. But the model is showing us what we really think under the surface, right? Or at least, in some sense, in this collective consciousness. And so it's an opportunity for us to face our shadow, and after acknowledging that, do better.